entitled Mother Demands That I Pass Her Kid. I am a high school English teacher. Let me tell you, I've had my fair share of crazy experiences, but the one I'm about to recount takes the cake. This happened last year when I had this student, Ella, who seemed hell-bent on proving that a zero-effort policy could get her through high school. The saga of Ella and her entitled mother, or EM for short, is one I'll never forget. Now, let me clarify. I am a pretty lenient teacher. I don't believe in drilling kids with an endless pile of homework. My philosophy is simple: absorb the material in class, contribute to discussions, and be proactive in your own education. Many students seem to appreciate my approach. Ella, however, had a different take. For her, my easygoing nature was a ticket to Free Ride City. Ella was a bright girl, that much was clear. The problem was, she had no interest in applying herself. She'd spend classes doodling or texting, paying no mind to the discussion. Assignments were seemingly beneath her. I'd be lucky to receive half-hearted attempts. Still, I tried my best. I sat down with her several times, trying to explain that her failure to participate was causing her grades to plummet. She'd just nod and promise improvement that never came. As we reached the end of the year, the grim inevitability loomed. Ella was going to fail. Enter Ian. Ian requested a meeting a week before final grades were due. I agreed, hoping maybe we could find some way to make Ella understand the gravity of her situation. The meeting day arrived, and Ian strolled into my classroom with a confident smirk. She was the epitome of entitlement, carrying an air of superiority that was both chilling and humorous. She launched straight into it, declaring, "You have to pass Ella." Taken back, I replied, "I understand your concern, but Ella hasn't met the required standards to pass the course." Ian scoffed, "Oh, please, you're just picking on her. I've heard about your no homework policy. It's too easy for her. She's bored." I was taken aback. Here was a mother accusing me of picking on her daughter who had done next to nothing the whole school year. With respect, ma'am, it's not about boredom. It's about engaging in the classroom, contributing to the lessons, and submitting assignments, none of which Ella has done. Ian was livid. She demanded to know how I could dare accuse her child of not working. I presented her with Ella's empty portfolio, the testament of her daughter's lack of effort. She dismissed it with a wave of her hand, insisting that doesn't matter. You have to pass her. She has a bright future, and you won't ruin it. I understand your concerns, but it's illegal for me to pass her without merit. I tried to reason, but Ian was having none of it. Ian was shaking with rage, her face red. "You will pass her," she thundered, "or I'll make sure you lose your job." As Ian's voice grew louder, her threats more venomous, I realized I had no choice but to call security. I pressed the silent alarm under my desk, a feature installed in all the classrooms for emergencies. A minute later, the door burst open, and two of our school security officers, Big Joe and Con Carla, walked in. They were both imposing figures, but it was Carla who everyone truly respected. She had this aura of calm command that was more effective than any physical threat. Ian's eyes widened at the sight of them, but she quickly regained her composure. She turned to them and declared, "I won't let this tyrant ruin my child's future." Joe, a bear of a man with a heart as soft as marshmallow, looked uncomfortable but remained silent. Carla, however, crossed her arms and addressed Ian coolly. "Ma'am, you've been asked to leave. Please do so peacefully." But Ian was too far gone. She raged, hurling insults at all of us. "You are all conspiring against my daughter. You are just trying to drag her down. You'll all pay for this." She tried to resist, but Joe, under Carla's calm command, gently grabbed Ian's arm. Ella watched as they started to escort her out. She began to wail and thrash around, causing quite a scene. News travels fast in a high school. Before long, students and faculty began pouring out of classrooms, crowding the hallway, curious about the commotion. Phones were whipped out, and whispers started buzzing. Ian's shrieks echoed through the hallway, bouncing off the lockers as she was led away. Her threats and screams of injustice were met with wide-eyed stares and muffled laughter. "You won't get away with this." Ian shouted at the retreating figures of the security guards as they led her down the hallway. "I will sue this school. You'll all be jobless." The next day, Ella approached me, her eyes downcast. "I'm sorry about my mom," she said softly. I nodded. "It's not about your mom, Ella. It's about you, your future. Your mother can't fight your battles for you." Ella sighed. "I know. I didn't realize. I messed up, didn't I?" I nodded at Ella's confession. "Yes, you did, Ella. But messing up isn't the end of the world. It's what you do after that matters." Her eyes welled up, a stark contrast to her usual aloof demeanor. "But it's too late now, isn't it? I'm going to fail, and I'll have to repeat the year. My mom, she's going to be furious." I sighed. "Ella, it's your life, not your mother's. You have to understand that your actions have consequences, and learning to accept them is a part of growing up." She nodded, tears streaking down her cheeks. "I know. I've been so stupid." I offered her a tissue from my desk drawer. "Ella, we all make mistakes. It's a part of being human. But remember, it's never too late to start over and make things right. You've acknowledged your mistake. That's the first step. What you need to do now is learn from it and do better next time." Ella wiped her eyes, managing a small smile. "Thank you, Mrs. Johnson. I appreciate your honesty. I'm here to guide you, Ella. Not just in English, but in life lessons too. Remember, no matter what, it's never too late to change." Over the following week, Ella made an effort. She participated in class, asked questions, and showed genuine interest. It was a complete transformation. Unfortunately, it was a case of too little, too late. Ella did fail, and it was tough, but it served as a wake-up call for her. Over the summer, I received several emails from her. She was reading books, sharing her thoughts, asking for recommendations. It was clear that she was finally starting to care about her education. When she returned to school, she was a different person, focused, dedicated, and earnest. She had taken our conversation to heart and was working hard to make amends for her previous lack of effort. She passed the year with flying colors, becoming one of the top students in her class. As for Ian, she tried to cause a stir but was promptly put in her place by the principal. It was a trying experience, but in the end, it taught me a valuable lesson. A teacher's influence extends beyond academics. We have a responsibility to shape these young minds, to help them understand the world and their place in it. I continue to teach with the same philosophy, but now with a bit more wisdom. Not all students are the same, and some require more guidance than others. It's our job as educators to help them find their way. And sometimes, that means letting them fail so they can learn to pick themselves up again. Well, it seems like Ella is going to be just fine. Her mother, maybe not so much. What are your thoughts? What would you have done in Mrs. Johnson's shoes? Let us know in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.